jewelry, which we hand make all of our own jewelry, and Jim started carving wood when he was 5 years old. So all of our pieces that we've made through the years, through several decades, are carved in wax. And he made this thing because it blows the dust off the wax. But it's all carved out of exotic woods, and then this is some of our filigree process that is hand carved in hard wax with jewels on it. And so even the handmade tools are beautiful and bejeweled. Like, you put all your tools in this drawer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And, you know, I used to have access to them all.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So, like, you know, a lot of these tools are used to carve the wax, you know, and pierce it. You know, like going in there and doing all that intricate filigree work. So
They look like
this
gems.
is all burley wood with a little diamond. We just launched our documentary. We just launched our documentary on YouTube 2 days ago. Cynthia Bach. So you know, it's all part of the living. So anyway,
Let me get through here and get my explanation for the altar.
the altar Jim started about 6 months ago.
No, it's for carving wax.
And he spends a lot of time in Mexico, Mexico City, and we go to Puebla to Carnival, which is fascinating, the costumes that they spend a year to make. So Dia de los Muertos, which is November 1st through November 3rd, is such a fabulous Mexican tradition. I don't know if you all saw the movie Coco, but I highly recommend Coco. It won the Oscar, I think, last year for animated films. And it's about the wonderful Mexican tradition where every November 1st, villages will have a parade and get a picnic and go to the cemetery and party all night. And they have to have a picture of their loved one, and the loved ones come and party with them. And they celebrate their loved ones in this way every year. And they bring liquor and they bring food, and the flower is the marigold. So many of the pieces on this altar are old Mexican pieces. For example, this is an old mask that how do I make that blink?
Yeah, it blinks.
Ah, there. This is from like the 1930s.
Somebody's at the door.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. These two gesso pieces came off of a gypsy wagon in the 1800s. This is the I don't know what you call it, but these ornate, scary-looking masks are Gothic from England, and they came off of during the Gothic revival period in the architecture in England. They would put scary pieces all around the houses to ward off evil spirits, because the Gothic period was kind of a resurgence of, you know, religious horror. And this is an old Ouija board. And then here, this, you have to stick your finger in the mouth of the monkey, and he'll bite it. This is the stairway to hell, and this is the stairway to heaven. This is my old shoe. What does that say?
It's a miracle of the old
The miracle of the old shoe. Okay, here we've got La Chinga La Lave, which means that fucking key. right?
Yeah.
And the
Man,
fucking key
This
opens
has
the
got-
fucking door.
music that goes with it.
Oh wait,
Oh, it's a big key.
it's a big
Okay.
key,
Big key.
and it opens this
Latching.
door. And we're waiting for the music.
Oh, bless your soul.
Aretha!
Bless your soul.
Aretha! These are Please Bolt the Door, the Pothole of Paranoia. Oh, Porthole of Paranoia. Okay, then we've got just all kinds of things. These are pictures of Jim when he was a little boy. And over here is the pictures of people in his life. that
No,
are-
these are the people that have affected my life.
Oh. That are dead. All of
Yeah.
these people are dead.
Mhm.
That they can come back and party with Jim whenever, every Dia de los Muertos. But I love the tradition of partying and celebrating death. And that is the bell to
Summon the dead.
to summon the dead.
Mhm.
What is
And
the
here, this is the black hole of solitude, obscurity, and death. And it's got a dead guy from 1850 in it.
it's a daguerreotype.
Daguerreotype.
Mhm. Well,
There are a lot of sacred hearts, as we hear in elsewhere. The
Sacred Hearts. What are the Sacred Hearts mean to
Oh,
you?
that's symbolic of the Sacred Heart of Jesus.
You have a lot of them, I assume.
I do.
But
Yeah,
they're
it's one of
from,
my
from
fetishes.
churches and from places where they were venerated and
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah.
they were.
Exactly.
This is my favorite picture, Jim on his tombstone holding his nuts.
You have a tombstone already?
He does, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when he was building this, and we had an unveiling for Dia de los Muertos at the end of October, and we had Absinthe, the Green Fairy, and we did a little Halloween party. And I was like, is he getting ready to die or something? You know, I mean,
Well, we
do I
all
need
are.
to be worried? But he wrote this, and he
Oh.
promised me that was not it. I can read this. I can
Okay.
read some of this.
Yeah. It starts right here.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here with me. This is my interpretation of Day of the Dead altar as seen all over Mexico at this time of year. Due to this and various of my collecting interests, I sometimes ask if I have an obsession with death. I don't. I have an obsession with life. The Dia de los Muertos altar, ofrenda, is as much about life as it is about death. It has everything to do with love, family, friendship, and memories, but especially love. An important part of the altar is the ofrenda, an offering of food, drink, salt water, alcohol, and tobacco. The idea being to entice the spirit of the deceased to return for a night of togetherness. Normally, the altar is constructed at the end of the year following the death of a person being honored, but I decided to take matters into my own hands and get a jump start. Much like when someone prearranges their own funeral or selects their casket, this way I'll be assured of returning in the events that I should die at some point in the future, although such an event seems highly unlikely at the moment. Okay, so this, on a side note, a miracle did occur during the construction of this altar. It was on Sunday morning, and I was busily adding panels and decorations, constantly building it higher and higher. I was turning it around to access something on the back when suddenly it started to topple. Being somewhat top-heavy, I instinctively grabbed at it, even though I knew my feeble efforts would be futile due to the piece's weight. But suddenly I felt a presence at my side, and I was granted the strength to stop its fall and return it to an upright position. I don't know who or what came to my aid, but there was clearly a divine intervention. Okay, so as to why I decided to build an altar in the first place, I guess it was something like Noah and his ark. I don't for a minute believe that God screamed hysterically down from heaven, "Noah, build an ark, build an ark." I think the dude was just wanting to make a boat and things got out of hand and I just wanted to make an altar. I'm tonight dedicating the results of my efforts to a dear friend of mine in Abilene, Texas. Okay, so that's our friend Clint Hamilton.
Amazing.
Some of the features of the typical Day of the Dead altar are designed for interaction with those who visit it. The golden portal of life, symbolizing birth, life, and ultimately death. For me, this means open the door, be born, love as much as possible. Not just people, but life itself and everything we can touch, see, taste, and experience. And then close the goddamn door. So far, I'm doing pretty well meeting those criteria. Tonight, behind the door is the soul of a voice silenced this year, but living on the brighter countless lives every day. That's Aretha Franklin. So.
Amazing.
Good explanation. I took the food off, of course. It was starting to get over here was the ofrenda part that had food and drink and everything.
Yeah, and there were a lot of little liquor bottles, and those seem to be gone too.
Because
So.
You got to entice the spirit of the dead to return. You have to have something to offer. And since I used to smoke, well, it also has cigarettes.
That's great.
Well, and he keeps adding to it. I mean, it's ever morphing and adding and changing.
Incredible. Thank you so much.
Certainly.
Thank you.